Welcome back, fight fans! Get ready to be knocked out of your senses as we break down the 10 most unreal one-punch knockouts in MMA history. We have to agree, nothing beats a victory with a single punch, so let's see which fighters got to claim such an epic win. 1. Anthony Pettis vs. Stephen Thompson. Thompson faced off against Pettis in 2019 at UFC Fight Night for one of the roughest fights of his 21-year MMA career. Things were going well for Thompson as he maintained a height advantage over his opponent. But with two strikers in the cage, one with a side of kickboxing, things were bound to blow up. So in the last seconds of the second round, Pettis advantaged off of Thompson's missed blow to ruthlessly knock him out. Thompson moved down on Pettis and executed a side kick in the last 10 seconds. As the kick drifted to the right, Thompson came forward. That's when Pettis threw a tremendous Superman punch against the cage, sending Thompson to the mat. Thompson tried a right cross to avoid getting stuck, but the lack of distance between the two made it challenging for him to connect. And that's how Thompson's no-knockout streak was broken in an epic way. He later said, "It was so ninja, I didn't even see it coming." 2. Sean O'Malley vs. Eddie Wineland. A knockout victory is the last thing you'd expect from the looks of Sugar Sean O'Malley. But don't underestimate his nasty knockout moves, as Eddie Wineland did at UFC 250. In fact, O'Malley has 15 wins, out of which 11 are knockouts. And it took him only a minute in the first round to deliver his one-punch wonder, sending Wineland into La La Land. It was so quick that judges couldn't even complete their initial sentences. And it was titled the best knockout of the year.
He does a fin.
The walk-up KO! The Sugar Show!
Oh my goodness!
3. Rich Franklin vs. Nate Quarry. Nate Quarry had no idea what he signed up for in his bout against Rich Franklin, and from his previous profile, Franklin didn't either. However, Franklin delivered incredible knockout skills against Quarry in this title bout. He took his time gauging Quarry's timing and composure. When he finally cracked the code, he proceeded with a quick hit to the chin. And that's all it took to send a bloody Quarry to the ground. And Quarry's dramatic end made that one-punch knockout 1 in a million. 4. Anthony Johnson vs. Glover Teixeira. Anthony Johnson is notorious for his heavy hand and the swift strikes he delivers with them. In fact, he's almost as good as Francis Ngannou in that department. Even though he didn't win gold after transitioning to light heavyweight and struggle with making weight, his one-punch knockout is worth mentioning. And being on the receiving end, Glover Teixeira can bear witness to this. Teixeira faced off against Johnson at UFC 202, and it took Johnson just 13 seconds into the fight to send Teixeira to the ground. It took one aggressive uppercut to do the job, but Johnson wasn't done yet. So he got down on his knocked-out opponent and threw in a few extra punches to ensure he stayed down. 5. Cody GarBrandt vs. Raphael Assuncao. In June 2020, Cody GarBrandt faced off against Raphael Assuncao. GarBrandt delivered a disciplined performance, after paying the price for being overexcited in his recent stoppage defeats. Early on, the former UFC bantamweight champion attempted to tag Assuncao with smashing combinations. The second round began with a scuffle on the ground, with GarBrandt delivering a head kick off the break. GarBrandt kept things interesting with kicks to Assuncao's legs and torso until he responded with a crisp right. With seconds remaining in round 2, GarBrandt connected with a powerful right hook that knocked out Assuncao at the bell. And a victorious Cody circled the ring after his fantastic last-minute knockout. 6. Kamaru Usman vs. Jorge Masvidal. Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal weren't facing off in the ring for the first time when this knockout happened. Instead, it was their second bout after Masvidal lost his first to Usman. By this time, Usman wasn't just looking for a victory, he wanted an epic victory. The gameplay was decent on both ends in the first round, but the second round saw the Nigerian Nightmare's real fight skills emerge. He took his aim and landed a solid right hand on Masvidal's cheek, knocking him out cold. He then tried to complete the mission by adding a few extra punches before the referee intervened. 7. Rashad Evans vs. Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell fought against rising talent Rashad Evans in a title eliminator bout. The newcomer was there to prove something, Meanwhile, Liddell wasn't the fierce fighter he used to be. This created the perfect chance for a knockout, and Evans delivered. It almost felt like Evans was luring Liddell in when he cornered Evans in the cage. And just when Liddell tried to deliver a deadly uppercut, the younger fighter took him out with an overhead right. 8. Dan Henderson vs. Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping and Dan Henderson had enough verbal foreplay before their actual fight. This meant they would deliver something epic. So Henderson didn't wait very long before supplying a one-hitter quitter on Bisping, sending him down. But that wasn't enough for him. He wanted revenge for all the pre-fight jabs. So he quickly struck a flying forearm to call it even before the referee intervened. 9. Conor McGregor vs. Jose Aldo. Here's another 13-second knockout. Conor McGregor was after Jose Aldo's featherweight title at UFC 194. So he entered the octagon and landed an epic counter within 11 seconds of the round. This was also Aldo's first loss in almost a decade, making Conor's victory even sweeter. 10. Francis Ngannou vs. Alistair Overeem. We saved the best for last. The Francis Ngannou vs. Alistair Overeem bout had fans on edge, because both fighters had remarkable skills. But one is always better, and Ngannou proved it was him at UFC 218. The bout was aggressive from both ends, but Ngannou turned it in his favor with a brutal uppercut to Overeem, immediately sending him to the ground. It was so lethal that it had fans worried for Overeem's life. Alright folks, those are all the best one-punch knockouts on our list. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for all the latest MMA news. We'll catch you in the next video.